Hello there. So today I thought I would do a working session on looking into the world of celebrity profile pictures, breaking down the nonverbal signals that are being sent from these different pictures. Now, I find this fascinating because the pictures we pick to represent ourselves are incredibly important. Digital first impression research by Alexander Todorov found that we make a digital first impression in 0.05 seconds. That's 50 milliseconds. So that means that when someone looks at your profile picture, they make a very quick snap judgment of you, typically in one word. So when we look at a profile picture, we have barely enough time to think of kind of one personality trait or adjective. So when you look at the profile pictures of celebrities, you learn a lot about them and their brand. So I thought it would be a perfect way to teach you about some of the body language signals that we send and how you can use them for your own brand. So let's start off. I picked the very lovely Jennifer Lawrence. So here what I've done is I pulled up 3 of the profile pictures, her Twitter picture, her IMDb, and her Facebook photo. And each of these are sending off different nonverbal signals. Can you guess the one word for each? So we are going to use body language to decode it. Let's start with her Twitter profile picture. So her Twitter profile picture, she is doing something very interesting. She is looking at you from underneath her lashes. And research has found from the University of Brussels that the angle of how we view someone actually affects our perceptions of them. So when a woman tilts her chin down, looks at you up through her lashes, it is a very seductive look. It is very feminine. It's almost a touch submissive because we're looking up at someone. And so this is a very seductive glance. Another thing you might notice is she is actually pointing at her lips. She has her hand up, but your attention goes from her eyes to her lips and then right back and forth. And lips obviously are a very sensual part of our body, so it's a very seductive picture. And that is the word I would choose for her here, seductive or sexy. Second, her IMDb photo. This is totally different. So here she's fully smiling. Most importantly, she is in a power pose. The universal gesture of pride is a broad stance. And here she is really confident. She's showing a lot of skin. She has her arms on her hips. She has a full smile. And that is the word I would pick for this photo, confidence, because she's in the universal gesture of pride. And the last one, again, totally different for her Facebook page. This time, she's not smiling at all. It's a much more close-up shot. What we want to know about this one is 2 nonverbal cues. 1, she is not smiling. And 2, she is not looking at the camera. She's looking a little bit off. She chose a picture that she is not looking at the camera. This sends off cues of being aloof or mysterious. And this is kind of her last word, is being more mysterious, holding back her emotions, looking off the camera so you can't quite get a connection with her. So Jennifer Lawrence's brand, seductive, confident, mysterious. I think that is exactly how you could describe Jennifer Lawrence. Maybe even a touch of optimism in there with her broad smile. And that is her brand. Now the question is, what came first, right? Chicken or egg? Did she form this brand through these kinds of photos, or did she choose these photos because of her brand? That we will never know, but you can see how the right photos send off the signals that help her sustain that image. Okay, so the next one here is Zooey Deschanel. So Zooey Deschanel has a very different kind of a brand, and she chooses very different profile pictures. So here are her 3 pictures from Twitter, IMDb, and Facebook. And let's look at the nonverbal cues in her Twitter profile picture. So this one's really interesting. So first, she's doing a universal body language behavior called blocking, which is when you put barriers up between yourself and the person, between your torso and someone else. So she's kind of holding something to her chest. She's covering her chest. She's also in this picture in a very low power gesture. Her shoulders are up towards her head. Her head is sunk down. That's a much more low power gesture as opposed to the broad high power stance. So if I look at those 2 nonverbal cues, I'm going to think shy, right? She's a much quieter, more introverted kind of celeb. Maybe even quirky, right? With those ornaments, with the bunny ears too, which is another nonverbal signal with what we wear. Next, she also, and this is her IMDb photo, a little bit different, a little bit more professional. So here she's making full eye contact. She's looking right at the camera and she's engaging in a big smile. So this time we see a lot more positivity. So I would give this bubbly or positive. We see that she has a real optimistic, cheerful kind of a brand to her. And the last one, her Facebook photo, the most nonverbal signals, the strongest one is a severe head tilt. So a head tilt is the universal gesture of engagement. For example, if I were to say to you, do you hear that? I would tilt my head over to the side and expose my ear. So anytime we have a head tilt like that, exposing our neck and our ear, it's a sign of engagement or curiosity. It's a very warm gesture. She also has an ornament in this photo, another ornament. She likes those. Big red heart glasses. So I would say the word for this one picture is sweet. Head tilt, very engaging, as well as this loving heart-shaped ornament. So if you look at Zooey Deschanel's brand as a whole, shy, positive, and sweet. And that's a very accurate description of Zooey Deschanel's persona as a celebrity. Last one we've got to talk about is Amy Schumer. I wanted to pick someone a little bit different. So Amy Schumer has a totally different kind of brand. Here are her Twitter, IMDb, and Facebook photos. So let's take a look first at her Twitter profile picture. So lots of skin, right? So you see skin on her shoulders, skin on the legs. She's just wearing a shirt. And also in this picture, she's engaging in self-touch. So she's touching the top of her head. So self-touch is a very flirtatious gesture when women are doing it in this way. So sometimes self-touch can be nervousness. For example, if I bite my nails, that's a nervous self-touch. But this kind of self-touch for a woman is a very sensual kind of a thing because it makes you think, oh, I want to touch her too. So the skin, self-touch, one word here, sexy. And definitely Amy Schumer talks a lot about sex as well. So it could be sex or sexy, however you want to think about it. Her IMDb, a little bit different. So now we have a really big smile, right? All the way up into her eyes. She's definitely smizing. You can see that smile reaches all the way up to the top of her face. And there's wind in the photo. So it is windy. You can see this movement in her hair. Now, movement is an interesting one because when you add movement to a photo, it shows dynamism. It makes people look more dynamic. It adds charisma to a photo because you can see that there is energy in it. So it's the word I would give this is optimistic. You pair a big smile with a dynamic charisma and you get optimistic. So, or dynamic would be a good one for her as well. And the last one, so this is her Facebook profile picture. So interesting here because she's doing a kind of surprise microexpression. Surprise is when you widen your eyes up, you lift your eyebrows, and then you make a kind of a O shape with your mouth. This surprise picture is literally, I think, saying she's full of surprises, right? You never know what she's going to say next. You never know what she's going to do next. And then, of course, we have another wind, more dynamic. So I think this is surprising, right? And I think this perfectly describes Amy Schumer as well. She's flirty, she's fun, she's surprising, right? Or sex, she talks a lot about sex, comedian. She's very dynamic, as well as you never know what she's going to say next. So the reason I show all of these pictures and the reason why I want you to think about them is because every single thing that you do in your profile picture is sending off a different signal. And the profile pictures you see are also there sending you signals as well. So I want you to think about what the nonverbal signals are in your profile pictures and the ones you look at. And let me know if you have any questions. By the way, you are also welcome to check out our free little ebook and article on how to take the perfect selfie. We have a bunch of science-based tips and cool examples for you from real life, not just celebs. If you go to scienceofpeople.com/selfie, you can grab that little ebook and spot check your profile pictures to make sure they're up to snuff.